So my name is Anna McMichael, like Eric mentioned, and I represent AllRoll, and here I am responsible for growth and business development operations. And I've been with the company from very beginning, and I'm very excited to share our insights on the industry right now, and also give some feedback and input on what we are doing here. So thank you so much for having me, and I'm very, very excited to be here. So I'd like to start with sharing my screen, and I do have a presentation. Just 1 second. Let me know if you guys can see it.
Yep, looks great.
Perfect. I'm gonna move this somewhere. I don't know if I can. You can still see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, amazing. Perfect. Okay, yeah, as I mentioned, we're going to be speaking today about unboxing potentials for marketing Roku channels. And I'd like to share some agenda here. So that's what we are going to be speaking today. I want to touch base on a few points of overall how market has been evolving, and specifically for Roku ecosystem, and then what challenges Roku owners, Roku channel owners face at this point, and then how they deal with it and what we bring to the table as a company as well. So I'd like to start with just kind of remind everyone and point out that industry overall has been evolving in very fast pace, the CTV industry, and it's been growing year by year. And now this year we've got COVID, and that's something that accelerated the growth that we've been seeing already previously, right? So we pretty much on the boost of the whole industry at this point. And what do we have now? So now, the first time in a decade, streaming is truly overtaking live TV. And also, according to Forbes, we have about 80% of US households that have at least one connected device. I'd like to refer a little bit to eMarketing statistics and predictions, and they're saying that by the end of this year, we're going to hit the mark of 207.5 million active users across the US. So who are those main players? This is just a reminder because I'm pretty sure everyone already know what we see here, what pictures would be presented. And we know that main players are the following folks, right? So Roku, Amazon Fire, Samsung, Google, and LG, and others. So those stats were pulled out way before pandemic. So essentially we have probably a little bit different number just because we went through such a crazy boost and growth during the COVID and lockdown stage. So we can have a little bit different numbers. However, the breakdown will look pretty much the same. So we see Roku is leading in terms of providing actual devices across the country and active users across the country as well. So they are being on the peak. So with that being said, I would like to move to Roku a little bit and just speak about what's going on inside their ecosystem here. So we can see the last number that has been reported by Roku, it was 46 million active users, and that's been reported in Q3 2020. So they've been growing pretty crazy, and actually there is a lot of reasons behind it, why they're still leading the market, why they're doing such a great job. So first of all, they invested a lot in their technology, and they keep doing it. And they were the first one who did it, and they continuously invested in their technology. At the same time, the price for their device, they basically breaking even with selling their devices because they are monetizing their users down the funnel. And in fact, everyone understands that to launch your channel on Roku is really great idea because you have your content that you maybe had on YouTube before, and now you're actually taking it live on a big screen. And for many channel owners, it's a great opportunity. And I'm speaking now more about maybe small, mid-sized companies that have already decent number of their audience, the amount of audience representative that they can move on the big screen. So essentially, yes, Roku has a great opportunity for many channel owners to have their content out there. And if we look at the next slide, I'd like to show you how the actual app growth inside Roku has been evolving. So this is some visuals that's going to show you how many apps and what is the actual growth of apps within the Roku, and amount of them being added year by year, starting 2015. So 2015, we see just a little bit, kind of a small graph, and then how it's been growing starting 2019, 2020. So we do have a great amount of content inside the Roku ecosystem, and it's been growing dramatically. And Roku, in fact, identified it, and that was the reason why they launched the Roku channel, which is essentially an aggregator where they aggregate the whole content there, and everyone who participates, right, they can essentially be part of huge aggregated experience, and they can be visible and noticed by other customers who are using the Roku channel, and then eventually drive audience to their channel, and that's a great opportunity. However, I would say there is not too many options aside of that to promote your channel. So let's say if someone don't want to be a part of the Roku channel, what other options they have? And like I mentioned, we have a huge amount of content right now within the Roku ecosystem. So I'd like to jump straight to this topic and kind of cover a few things here. So we've had many calls and focus group with our clients, also sales calls, just identifying what do we deal with and what is the process of launching the channel within the Roku, how it's working inside, what challenges they're facing, and how they acquire and monetize their users. So what is the process? And here's what we found out. First of all, to launch your channel on Roku, you don't really have to have very sophisticated technical team. You can really do it through Roku Direct Publisher, and just a couple clicks, you can create your channel. Of course, down the road, when you need to have access to your code and maybe to certain SDK integrations or something else, of course, it's better to have access to your code, but you don't have to have it, and it's really, really simple. So I guess that's also another point what drives a lot of users, to a lot of channel owners to have a channel on Roku. So speaking to many of these channel owners, we identified that having a marketing strategy has to be based on three main points down the funnel. It comes to acquisition, retention, and monetization. So they have to consider all of those three in order to be successful and include this into the strategy. So I'd like to jump straight to the next slide and tell you guys what options they currently have for user acquisition. So first of all, of course, this is the social platforms. If you as a channel owner have a great community inside Facebook or Instagram, and you're running your social campaigns and you've been very, very active about it, you're absolutely right. And this is the great way to engage your audience, to be in touch with them, to drive your audience on a big screen and just increase your brand awareness overall. This is a great opportunity. In terms of LTV, ROI, it's also the best channel, truly the best channel to engage your audience. So thumbs up on that. Great option, social platform. If you don't do it yet, of course you have to be very active there. Another option is just kind of letting users know who browse and just surfing the web that you exist, that this is the content that you provide inside your website, and just put a little digit or mark that, hey guys, I have a channel on Roku, please join me and watch my content. So this is something that goes, I would say, outside of Roku ecosystem. So it's not within the TV channels and different apps. It's something that users, they just notice it while they're surfing your website. And that's also an amazing way, and I'm sure everybody does it already. Google PPC. Amazing way. You have to definitely consider adding it to your strategy, and for that purposes, it's mostly for branded campaigns. So maybe not for every channel owners. Programmatic. So this comes to play when we are speaking about the situation when organic audience, organic traffic and social platforms campaigns are not enough and they're not satisfying. So volumes that you are getting through any other channels, when it's not enough, it's time to find something else. And the best opportunity at this point would be programmatic, going and buying in the programmatic. So there is few big names out there that most of you guys know. It's the Trade Desk, the Bridge Media, Verizon, Media, and OpenX. So you definitely have to go check it out if not yet. And another option is Roku native platform. This is a self-serve that they launch, and there is an opportunity to just go log in, create your campaign, launch your banners, creatives, and basically make it live. So if we look at all of those options, I would say first four, those users going to be coming to your channel outside of Roku ecosystem, and only the Roku native platform provides you an amazing opportunity to drive them and engage users that are already watching TV. And of course, when it comes to huge volumes, Roku self-serve is the way to go. There is a lot of tricky parts about it, of course. They do have budgetary restrictions. Campaign launch it's not quite fast, I would say. And also there is questions about analytics, how you can get access on how your campaign is being ran and what are the sources. And then down the road, how you actually going to optimize it. So there are a few points that has to be considered before you launch your campaign on Roku native platform. So while speaking to many customers, while having discussions internally and overall with different channel owners who run campaigns, or maybe they don't consider it marketing yet, we identified that there is very few points that are extremely crucial in order for them to run marketing and do any type of acquisition inside the Roku ecosystem or not. So first of all, for many, and I would say for majority of Roku channel owners, it's very important to have a customizable budget. Just because a lot of them have indeed restricted and limited sources that they can invest to their marketing campaign, and then also they might be splitting their channels between, they might be splitting their marketing between different channels. So they do omni-channel approach. And for that reason, they do need to have a customizable budget in order to maybe just run the test and see how it's backing out for them. So that was something that's very important. Another note is what else they're looking at is that everyone pretty much wants to access the data. So they want to go and log in inside and just take a look how creatives are performing, how they can optimize it over there, and how different sources are performing, and what is the skill, how exactly, let's say they deliver, what was the delivery today, maybe yesterday, and different points where they would want to see how a campaign is being ran and how it's performing inside. And that pushed us as a company to create a dashboard access for our clients, where you can log in and take a quick pick on what's going on your with your campaign. So another note is that basically what we realize is important here is driving users that are already engaging with Roku, who are already watching TV, who are ready to check out different content, and drive it on the performance base, and they provide the results that you can actually measure and access your stats. So this is something that is very important for Roku channel owners, and we see that using different channels and marketing opportunities, sometimes and most of the time you really do not have this access. So we try to work on that and make sure it's available. Here, speaking a little bit about monetization opportunities for Roku channel owners. All of you guys already know AVOD, SVOD, TVOD, different in-app purchases, and hybrid mixes. This is something that has been discussed earlier, and now it's pretty hot topic about AVOD and SVOD, where users are going, how they going to be split, and is it truly that AVOD is taking over? My opinion on that, and my team also, we think that yes. And like Sarah from Omdia yesterday referred to this question, that there is a certain limit for each customers, and they hit about $32, I believe she was saying, $32 mark, where users are spending for streaming services. So yes, there is a limit of SVOD, and then a lot of users and audiences driving to AVOD subscription. So essentially, it's ad-supported programming, right? If we talk about it just from the Roku channel owner's perspective, AVOD is amazing. However, it's a little bit challenging to calculate LTV. You really can rely only on ad spend. So for that reason, you really have to have certain analytics and dive deeper into your channel and see how exactly it's performing, and how exactly those creatives and banners are working in terms of your ad spend. So we've ran multiple tests, split tests on our platform, and we realized that there is the best option for the format of the advertising that can be provided, and it showed us so far a great result. So it's a format of Carousel. It's a Carousel format. So basically what it is, essentially, if you have a screen and you browse in a certain a certain channel, and then on the bottom of your screen you would have a small carousel on the bottom of the screen with different banners, with different ads. It does has a certain native look, so it's not going to annoy user, and it's always have a recommendative character versus an actual ad. So what we've seen so far, that loyalty for this is really high. So users very willing to engage with this ad, and they're really ready to check it out because it looks like, oh wow, those channels has been recommended to me. I might as well go and check what's up there. So clearly, we have very, very high loyalty and engagement. So that help us, that actually give us an opportunity to help channel owners to monetize their inventory in a very efficient way, and then give us the chance to promise them very high fill rates and click rates, just because we know that the ad itself is not something they can skip, and they really don't want to skip it because it's such an engaging and trustworthy ad. So this is pretty good, and that's what we've seen so far on our side. And then if you would be interested to do that, it's super easy. You can just do SDK integration, and then configure the banner, how exactly it's going to look on your page as a publisher, and then see how you want to present it. And then you will access to your analytics also, and then you can optimize it accordingly. So this is a little bit on monetization side. Like I mentioned before, the third very important part that they have to consider for the strategy is their retention. And retention is really something that you can access only if you have data inside. If you have a data inside your channel and understanding of your users, what are they doing, how they interacted with your channel. And speaking to many, many clients, we realized that the industry overall is very thirsty for the solution that provides certain attribution inside the Roku ecosystem specifically. So that made us really motivated to make our step there and create a solution that will help Roku channel owners to track and analyze and attribute their users. So what essentially it does, we are able to integrate, you are able to integrate a solution and then track every conversion for the specific install. So there is an opportunity, for example, to use events inside the attribution platform, and pick certain events that are important for your conversion, configure them, and then at the end of the day, pull up the reports in a beautiful dashboard version and report version, and make sure you have access to the statistic, to the full statistic. And then essentially, if you do buy from, let's say, Roku native self-serve, or you do your organic, you track your organic, and you also do different other campaigns, for example, with AllRoll, you can also attribute all of those channels to your attributes solution in attribute solution and just check this out inside. So everything that is attributed inside the Roku ecosystem can be sent to attributes, and you can access this data. So this is essentially what it is. So just to summarize, we realized that there are still a lot of companies and a lot of channel owners that invested in analytics inside their channels. And they've done a great job on that. That's a great investment because they truly can analyze and look at their user insight. However, majority still do not have this opportunity. And I would say our goal here is really to make the analytic and attribution and marketing overall accessible within the Roku ecosystem for everybody. Whether it comes to acquisition or monetization or attribution, we're really happy to be involved in such a great, fast-growing platform and help out those who really need it and who wants to grow their channel. And if you're interested, please let me know. If you have any questions on anything we just touched on, I'd be happy to answer. Thank you so much for the attention. And yeah, let me know if there is anything I can answer the question right now.
Thank you so much, Anna. It's astounding how fast that platform has grown. Really, a year or two, it's just exploded, and it's increasingly difficult to get noticed on Roku. I just looked, as big as it is, it's still nowhere near as big as the Apple App Store ecosystem, which has something like about 2 million apps on the App Store. So get started on Roku now and avail yourself of organizations, companies like AllRoll, who are here to help us make our content recognized and monetize it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and paste in a link in the chat to everybody to AllPro's tabletop on our site. You can click on that and learn a little bit more about what they do and connect with them directly, as you can with all of our sponsors today on our sponsors page. So thanks again once more, Anna.
Thank you so much.